She is known to the world as one of the queens of R&B and freestyle music of the 1980s, New York City's very own Lisa Velez of Lisa and Cold Jam. Lisa, what's going on?
Same old, man. Keeping it busy.
Keeping it busy?
Yes, always, nonstop.
I love that attitude. I love it. So I know I know you grew up there in New York City and you attended Julia Richmond High School there in Manhattan. Yeah. And so what were you growing up listening to in that great city of New York City?
Oh, wow. Out here in this melting pot, there is everything. I was born in Hell's Kitchen, single Latina family. My mom raised us on salsa, of course, but, you know, my older brothers and sisters, they listened to Motown and anything rock and roll, so I was into all that. And as I grew up, everything to me was the Jackson 5 and Martha and the Vandellas. There was Stevie Wonder, and then I could go on from there. I mean, I listen to any style of music.
Very cool. And I know there was I know you were signed to Columbia Records. Now, were you still in high school when that happened, or had just graduated? How'd that all come about?
I was still in high school when that happened. What I did was I was actually younger when it was going on.
Okay.
I was 13 when I first met the guys. I used to sneak out at night. Oh, Mom, I'm so sorry. I used to sneak out and try to go to clubs and stuff. And a lot of people were saying Madonna was, discovered at the Fun House. So I was going to the Fun House.
Uh-huh.
Trying to get discovered. I met one of my friends there one night. He said somebody wants to meet you, and he introduced me to Mike Hughes. That was a roadie for Full Force back in the day.
Okay.
And he took me to an audition, and the rest is history, and he became one of the Cold Jam.
And Columbia Records released the Gold Dance Smash, I Wonder If I Take You Home, was released by the European division of Columbia Records, correct, for the compilation album Breakdancing? Is that correct?
Yes, it is. That is correct.
And how did you guys come up with that great dance number?
Well, that was an idea that Full Force had, and they took us into the studio, and in one night we recorded I Wonder If I Take You Home and Can You Feel the Beat, and they started soliciting us to all different kinds of labels, and we got picked up by a little independent label called Personal Records.
Uh-huh.
Personal took us over to Columbia, and that's how it all got started. And I don't know, they just decided to put us on that compilation album because at the time it was getting a lot of play in the clubs. And a lot of breakdancers were using it, and then it came back here to the States after about almost a year.
The amazing ballad All Cried Out was released to the world, which helped your debut album go gold. How was that song invented, the All Cried Out?
That was an idea, again, that Full Force had through a conversation that we were having. A lot of the stuff that we did, it was a lot of talk we had. Sitting down and just having regular conversation, and everything just got turned into a song. As a young girl, not knowing what to do, there you go. Came All Cried Out.
Your second studio album, Spanish Fly, spawned two #1 pop hits. The first being Head to Toe, which hit #1 on 3 American charts. Were you inspired by the Motown sound for that particular tune?
Yeah, we were. The guys, when I was, I guess you could say, discovered by Full Force, they were looking to make a 3-girl group, a vocal group.
Okay.
And they liked my voice, and they couldn't find 2 other girls to blend because they were trying to do sort of an up-and-coming version of the Supremes.
Okay.
And that song came about because they love the Supremes. So do I, of course, I have to tell you. I love the Supremes. And it was just, I remember that song, how it was being created. We were on tour, actually. And it was, when we got to the next town and we were about to go to sleep, it was only 5 o'clock in the morning, and we get to the hotel, I want to go to sleep. No. Paul Anthony is on the phone calling me in my room. You got to sing this. You got to sing this. And I said, can I sing it later? Can we do it later, please? He was like, no, you got to sing this part for me. Just sing this. It's a melody I have in my head. So I sang it back to him on the phone, and I loved it. So of course, I didn't sleep, and I ran over to his room, and we just started recording.
I love these stories. See, Lisa, that's the way. I mean, everybody in America, and every radio station in America always plays these songs, but it's just so cool to take time and actually talk about the meanings and the background on these great songs.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun how these songs come about. You'd be surprised how we just come with these ideas. We can be at a McDonald's talking about something, and all of a sudden we're writing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Like on the back of like a Big Mac like box, right? Back then, right?
I can't get much on that. I usually use the napkins.
That's too funny. It's so great. And then Lost in Emotion turned out to become the group's biggest hit, and it hit number 4 as one of the most played music videos on MTV for the year of 1987. Do you remember how that music video came about for Lost in Emotion?
I guess the video came about when we were searching for video directors because of his idea was kind of cute. There was the sound sounded like something you would hear in a carnival. Mm-hmm. And at the time we were looking for a video director, there were carnivals all over the city. So we just so happened to shut down one of the carnivals. For one night we did it, and we hung out at the carnival and played, and it just happened. It rolled through right there. It wasn't like we had anything like sketched in stone. Excuse me. It just came about as we went along playing.
And what's the interesting story behind the tune "Someone to Love Me for Me"?
Oh, that was all me. I was going through a moment, I guess. I was getting older in this business, always on tour 6 to 9 months out of the year. And being so young and not knowing if my friends really were my friends, becoming my friends because of me or for what I was doing. And I was having a moment, and I sat down with Paul Anthony at Full Force, and I had a moment. I was in tears because I was lonely. Mm-hmm. I really honestly wanted to come home. I just needed a break, and I wanted to see my mom and my brothers and sisters. And he said, "Why?" And the conversation went from there, and it turned into that song.
Okay, and I'm sure you were on tour for, what it seemed like for years and years and years with all these great hits that were out.
Actually, I'm still on tour now. I haven't stopped in so many years. I'm still touring, actually.
That's what I love to hear, Lisa. That's what I love to hear.
Yes.
And I always liked the tune "Go For Yours," which was actually featured in the movie Caddyshack 2.
Yeah, that was brought to us, and I guess since we were on tour, they wanted to get, it's usually like that when a movie's coming out and they want the soundtrack to a movie. They have to get the artist that's happening at the time to do a song. But I actually am a Caddyshack fan.
There you go.
I have the movies. I own them. And I was honored when they said, "Would you like to do this?" And I said, "Oh, absolutely."
The group's third album, Straight to the Sky, was home to the great single, Little Jackie Wants to Be a Star. I love the beat on that track.
Thank you. Again, going back to my roots of listening to a lot of old-style pop R&B music, we combine that with another conversation that we were having of how in the public's eye it is to try to become a star, especially here in New York City. And it was a basic song and idea, and it took off. It took off right away because I think it sounded more like me. Mm-hmm. It was a story about me and all the other Jackies out there in this world. At such a young age, I think that everybody was going to relate to it, and it did. It caught on.
So, Lisa, what are you working on these days?
I'm still on tour. Besides working on, my mommy chores at home, my babies, whom I adore, my best accomplishment, I have to say to the world, are my babies, my children.
Of course.
But I still have to be on stage performing, so that is what I'm doing. I recently, about 2 years ago, released an independent album of my own with my manager that was released on iTunes and Amazon.com. It's called Life and Love, so we're on tour, just throwing it out there. So I have plenty of music to perform with, and I have not stopped. Well, actually, while I'm on tour, I'm also, writing and getting ideas, and who knows, of course, I'm going to release another, but I'll do it independently so that, I think it should be done where you feel great about what you're doing and you don't compromise your talent and the taste and the love that you have for your style. So whatever I do is going to be done independently, and it'll be thrown out there, and whoever hears it, God bless them.
Love it, Lisa. So what's the best website for your fans to check out what you're doing day to day?
Go on Facebook. My Facebook is under my name, my full name, my married name, Lisa Velez Mello. That's Mello. And there's when you click on to become a friend on that, there's two other Lisa pages that come up, and you'll find anything and everything out that you need to know about Lisa.
Lisa Velez of Lisa and Cold Jam, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. God bless everybody. Keep it straight, keep it cool, and keep it moving.
I love the attitude, Lisa. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you very much.